Kingdom is a series that I have been coming across in multiple sites and comments. They always suggested it so much that I couldn't let it hold off and had to research it. It's been regarded as outstanding that one would wonder, why is this series not licensed in the United States? Kingdom is Yasuhisa Hara, the mangaka, first and only work that he has created it. It has been going on since 2006, yet I only know about it since last year. I don't usually let the hype get to me, but I made an exception. It has over 490 chapters, which would scare off newcomers. It was a long journey. However, the only question left unanswered, is it great as they say? No, it's more. Taking place in a historical event is the period of the 500-year, the Warring States era. Shin and Hyo, the two war orphans, set their goal to become the great general of heavens. However, Hyo was taken away to the palace, and upon return, he was killed. Enraged Shin set to locate the village in which Hyo instructed him in his dying breath, only to stumble upon Issei, the king of Queen, at realizing the reason behind Hyo's death. After a series of events in which Shin and Issei work together to reclaim the throne, it is decided that Shin proceed to continue on with his life and to reach to a higher dream to become the greatest general in the world. The synopsis only gives you a small story of a prologue, which itself is really good. However, it is the epic storytelling that follows. It will get you incredibly invested. It's the journey and its rich payoff that created this a phenomenal ride. The journey to become a general is a well thought out, well detailed, and always leave a great impression of how much hardship a newcomer has to take, as well as adapting to the system and its environment. Every moment counts, and Shin has to slowly develop them before it can cost them great. There is another piece of story that contributes to the action. The political side is handled in one of the most realistic sense you can find, and fortunately they are very enjoyable to read. Even with a lot of dialogue exchange, you always feel those words have a lot of weight to what could lead to consequence or victory. There are moments where bad ideas can be good, but it is due to the vast environment of politicians that leaves them no choice but act at whatever cost. It is not mean-spirited for the sake of it. Rather, it is the choice that they feel it can be right. It's easy or right choice that would decide. Both of those aspects intertwine with each other, so no moment feel filler. They have to rely on another strongly. It also helps that we are treated with historical records at moments to give insight of his history. So surprisingly, it's educational as well. All in all, this is one of the vast stories that has no sight of being bored out, and continues to embark with new problems and resolution. While the premise is familiar yet engaging, it's the journey that will strongly fascinate and compel you to continue on. Shin is the protagonist who we follow into the journey to reach the status of the greatest general. On the surface, he has traits of a shonen hero, from having idiotic moments to being rational. It will give you that sense of a typical character. However, as you read the series, he grows so greatly that all of those traits serve a purpose rather than just because. This is a story of witnessing a young boy growing up to become a great warrior. Therefore, we see him grow each passing days, months, and years. This creates a real life development, as well as why he starts to mature and start thinking more carefully and reasonably. Whenever there's a silly moment, it's because it will be the first for him to witness it, as well as take a part of it. After that, he adapts to it and understand what is honorable, loyalty, and remarkable. The story takes its time to develop Shin into a well-convincing general that you could buy him, that he's really that impressive. The journey he goes has many sense of danger, yet understanding the feel of being in the grand scope of military. Each moment give him new development and sense of focus. When he is placed in a similar situation, you will know how he has to handle it. It's not to say he loses all the comical moment as he grows. He still has them, but it doesn't rely on what he has done before. Rather, it's just his nature that has yet to resolve, like his bitterness against one character. Even so, everything he has put in has been developed well enough to understand his conflicts and achievements. Issei is the main character that focuses more on the political side. Similar to Shin, we follow his journey to achieve his main goal, the unification of China. The difference is he has a lot of experience in how the political system works, as well as he is much more thoughtful on his surroundings, since the politics revolves many intellect and corruptions. That is not to say the struggle isn't present, rather it takes you to the sense of a mind game from his standpoint, including handling the councilman from corrupting his country. Sei has a ton of confidence as well as convincing arguments that brings a lot of people together, establishing that his title as the king is rightfully crowned. He also can fight if things get really rough for him, but know when to not to cross the line. Is carefully coordinated on utilizing his character in the political ground. Bottom line, he is the king that not only people need, but the one we the audience can get behind. Kaio 10 starts off as a small child in which she couldn't do much in the battlefield. However, the writing has her started off seeing the grounded vision of warfare, which would lead her to be determined to become strong and beneficial to Shin and his army. This is a character of starting off with an introduction with small support to the one who would become a great adversary. As fortunate as it is a story with many flash forward, we see her growth significantly. Someone we would have thought to be a comic relief or unable to be helpful is night and day in character evolution, and is wonderfully handled that for those who aren't fond of her will surely have second thought. She's a strong heroine that doesn't need to be a full-time fighter to be impressive. Ishida Shui of Tokyo Ghoul series seems to be a fan of hers as he drew her for the appreciation of Kingdom's achievement. Kyokai is a character that is soft-spoken but a terrifying fighter. Her backstory comes from the assassin clan Chi-Yo, where it harbors a dark twisted system that led her to feel distant from everyone, yet she wields a powerful aura to take down multiple enemies at once. She also has her own quirk that can make you laugh. The visual of her taking notice of what's happening can be comical at times. She can give out the feel of not a care in the world. Above all, she can be strong and scary, yet you can appreciate on how much she is trying to move on from her life in the clan to somewhere she could call it home. There are so many characters in this series that some would be sidelined for an arc or so. Fortunately, they're great, larger-than-life characters that when they get a spotlight, they will leave it with an incredibly satisfying impression that you'll be wishing for more. It's not because we didn't see enough of them, which will be lacking in building character, rather because they are well-established, identifiable characters. The size can be the indication on not just how big they are, but how much aura, consumed, and iconic they are to the people. Even when they are normal sized soldiers, they too have a lot of importance in their jobs as well as characteristics. The interactions are always fun and interesting to see what sort of relationship they can build from. Many have a lot of distant bonding that it doesn't feel redundant from the rest of the crew, largely thanks to the well-rounded characters. Whether hatred or beloved, there's always something that holds a clear, defined relationship. When it comes to the action, it's hard to deny that the atmosphere and its environment are simply epic. Not just in tone of how amazing it can be, but how large the scope of a heated battle can truly become. There are hundreds, thousands of men in the field, and all of them will collide, losing their limbs, lives and loved ones. The series does a great job on elaborating the importance of having a large magnitude of forces. One leader can take out tens or hundreds of men alone, yet it can wear them out before reaching to the true opponent. It also shows many different types of terrain, including an armored chariot and use of archers. When it comes to leader versus leader, that's when it becomes a one-on-one feel of combat. It's all about who can outlast the opponent, who is the better fighter, and who will bring home victory. There's no matter of out of nowhere at last random power up. It's all about experience. The strongest perk in my opinion has to be the tension. It's always enticing on how engaging the series really pulls you in. Many battles leave you in a much tense feeling, whether if the person will connect the attack, if the person can overcome the hardship, or if the person loses his life. Because of great build of tension, it leaves the audience with great satisfaction. The political aspect is also well done and exciting, even for those who aren't a fan of dialogues and propaganda. Characters like Sei brings a lot of tension within the political system because you can grasp the chills of those words that hold a lot of weight to them. Its story doesn't portray that peace achievement can be done really easy. Rather, it has to be done through any means necessary. If he has to be seen as the world enemy, so be it. The pacing is spot on, as many of which would explore the historical events. They're diving in more of politics and exploits more character depth. It sends a good sensation of their hopes and dreams to win the battle and live another day, making you wonder if he or she will see that day or how bad the next day will be. It takes its time to give you the reason why we have to care. Everything is well implemented and is downright exhilarating. The series knows how to illustrate the impact of a moment, and when the battle ends in the favor of the heroes, it leaves with rewarding feeling. It last left me gasping. One arc has a broken scale rating from me because of how amazingly satisfying it is. Not to mention the tension and how well coordinated it was put together really factored out tremendously. I always said if the series makes me cheer or gasp out loud, then I know I have a great manga in hand. This is no exception. The series has been going on for well over 10 years, so the art is obviously going to get better over time. The art in the beginning was rather good, as it presented some of the sense of Chinese style in its character design. The facial structure is suited for this type of series, as it does capture well. That said, as time has forward, as well as the story timeline, it distinguishes itself as not only character growth, so does the art. In a overall package, it has really well drawn presentation of the characters as well as the environment. The map feels extraordinary, making you feel like you're in an epic warfare. Not all battles are in the same environment, like open empty arena. You'll be crossing the mountain, the forest, and many more, leaving the next battle unique feeling and new set of exciting set pieces. The war scenes are greatly detailed with tons of men scattering the field, as you can manage to pinpoint named characters. It can be heavy on violence, but it is done with reasons outside because of warfare. It's not the fact of fun and games, rather to show not only how brutal the old era was, but to show the effect on the characters. Nevertheless, you will see intense way to die in which incorporated with great sense of achievement. The strong suit of his art is the significance delivery. There are tons that is best not to spoil and allow you to read through, many of which will give you the great satisfaction when the hero wins, yet at the same time the sense of jaw-dropping of how they are taken out. Every panel feels epic because of how Hara organized it carefully to make sure it leaves a great impression. Not to mention, many victory shots often feel new yet satisfying. The series is packed with great detail with the character designs, the armors, the environment, the gore, and the swift action set pieces that leaves gasping for air. Who will get hurt first? The landscape is well detailed, and there are moments of sincerity that has a lot of meaning towards the character. It's epic. There are series that are left in the dark when it comes to United States. We have to either dig further or give up and accept on what we have. There are many series that has been hidden, yet it can be something special. Kingdom is that hidden gem. It's not to discredit mainstream or others. It is that Kingdom has been overlooked and they don't give any chance it truly deserves. It's night and day between Japan and United States in terms of popularity. But make no mistake, this is the popularity that is empowered by its rich quality. While it is strong in action, it's not why it is outstanding. Rather, the complete package that has captured me, from an engaging story to spectacular visual capturing the brutality of war, is one of the best manga that I have ever read. Without a doubt, it's highly recommended. It's a long journey as it will continue to increase its chapter count. However, it at least truly warrants your attention. The beginning engages you in its environment and characters. Then the long journey will begin as you won't be able to let go. It's the kingdom that I have been searching for, and is well worth every second. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any question about the series, feel free to ask me in the comment below. If you have a series to suggest for me to check it out, leave it there as well. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.